Good afternoon. My name is Joseph Lloyd and welcome to No Budget Reviews, the series where we go around the country finding cars that you can buy in good condition with an MOT for under £1,000 and filming them with absolutely no money at all. So we have to use my phone, no microphones, no fancy DSLRs, nothing like that. Just good honest cars that you can buy for very little money and you can enjoy driving. This is a 2007 Honda Jazz 1.4 Sport. This is probably the nicest first generation Honda Jazz you're ever going to see. It is absolutely immaculate. I'm very grateful to have been offered this car today by David, who has been very thorough in cleaning this car. I mean, there's no way you're going to be able to buy an example like this for £1,000, but of course there are plenty of Jazzes out there of this type that you can. A lot of them do suffer from sort of rust issues and things like that, so that's just something to be aware of when you're buying, particularly ones like this Sport with the side skirts on it. But I mean, an example like this, I doubt there's anything really wrong with it. We've even got these beautiful grey alloy wheels. As you can see, they're virtually immaculate. Honda Jazz or Honda Fit, Honda City, whatever it is you want to call it, was launched in 2001. This first generation car lasted until about 2008. The engine sizes in this country were pretty simple. There's only a 1.2 and 1.4 engine. In other markets though, the 1.4 was known as a 1.3 for reasons I don't really understand. Before the facelift, which is about 2004, the Sport trim was known as the SE Sport. There was S, SE, SE Sport, and then just after the facelift, Sport. This car's got a few options on it. This is the automatic version, and it's actually got sat-nav in it as well, which is brilliant. So let's take a look in the back first. We'll have a play with the magic seats in a little while, but I'm just going to come in and just see how much knee room we've got in here, which is pretty good for a small car like this. So we've got plenty of knee room. Headroom's really generous actually in here. And if we move over to this side, just a very simple door panel, but there is some nice fabric on it. Oh, it's Mr Ben Quirk from Planet Auto.
Hello.
Hello, a social distance hello.
I was going to say, you're in our neck of the woods, and with a Jazz that's also featured on our channel as well.
I know.
Fantastic.
You need to watch the reviews of the 2020 Jazz and the 2020 Jazz Cross Star on the Planet Auto channel, which actually do feature this car as well, right at the beginning of the first Jazz video.
It's a fantastic example though, isn't it?
It is really nice. You see it in here, there's virtually nowhere anything. The seat fabric is really nice as well. So I do like this. We'll have a go at magic seats in a bit. There's a cup holder down there, and we've got electric rear windows in this car too. It's quite well appointed, really. Oh, it's an LED light in the middle of there. That's quite nice.
I didn't expect to see airbags in the side of the seats either.
Yeah, we've got side airbags in here too, so it's nice and safe. And you've got, I think that for folding down the seat all the way as well. It's very clever. Right, so we've got the boot for a car of this size. I mean, we've been filming things like, I don't know, City Rover, Proton Savvy, Citroen C3. Compared with all of those, the boot is absolutely enormous. That's close or even bigger than the sort of three-door Civic that came just before this, which is remarkable, really. If we lift this up, we'll see we've got a proper space over spare wheel and all sorts of bungee cords and things. The low blind, it's unusual to have a low blind of this. You'd expect it to be just a parcel shelf as lifts up, so that's really good, very practical. So we get in the front. Again, it's absolutely immaculate in here. It's like a Honda showroom in 2007. This being the automatic, the lever is here. It's not in a funny place like it was on the old CRV. I did lie earlier on, I said it had sat-nav. I've now been informed it does not, because it would be pretty obvious it had sat-nav and it doesn't. You could get that as an option though. So if we just switch it on, there's warning beeps and things for some reason, I'm not sure exactly why. Oh, it's my seatbelt. The car has done 85,000 miles. I really don't believe that for a second, but it is, but it's true. I better believe it, I think. Climate control in this car, it's only single zone, but I mean, do you really expect to find climate control in a Honda Jazz? Well, this one has it. Glove boxes are really weird. It's got sort of a top bit there and a bottom bit there. I don't know why it's divided up. That's very unusual. It could be to do with passenger airbag, but I'm not sure. But to make up for that, we've got an enormous shelf on the bottom there, which is felt lined. The car's got big storage tray down there. You probably hold a mobile phone in it. Got 2 cup holders as well. Normal handbrake, of course, thank goodness. Then on this side, just you know, standard little door pocket. Electric mirrors, of course. Oh, are they power folding mirrors? Let's have a go. Oh my gosh, power folding mirrors. Let's better put those out again. I'm going to go for a drive. Fantastic. It's really well equipped car. The seat's really firm, actually. It's a lot firmer than I thought it would be, but I imagine on a long journey that would be fine. Got are those lit? No, there's not. I thought they might be lit, the sun visors, but they're not. But you do have little individual lights that you can turn on and off like that. Yeah, it's all pretty nice. It's a very straightforward dashboard, I must say. It's really big buttons. This kind of mid-2000s craze for putting things in silver is very evident in this car. And we've got a paddle shift for the automatic gearbox. It's rather nice. Conventional way round for the lights and the wipers. And it has, I believe, got an intermittent rear wiper as well, which is rather nice. Let's look under the bonnet. So this is the 1.4 engine, or 1.3 depending on where you're from in the world. It generates 81 horsepower. It's not a D series engine as far as I know. It looks quite different actually from one of those, but the ease of access doesn't look too bad. The only thing I would say, I think the spark plugs on these are really low down at the back. Yeah, there we go, really low down at the back. It's a bit like my Road 45 V6. So you need to use a pretty special tool to get at those, and I believe that it's got 2 spark plugs per cylinder in this car, as far as I know. It's interesting, like an Alpha Twin Spark. But yes, it's very clean under here as well. There's no oil leaks or anything. Excellent. Well, here we are, having a little drive. This is Milnthorpe in the Lake District, and it is absolutely beautiful around here. Remarkably easy car to handle in town. Really light steering and excellent visibility. With this automatic gearbox in it, it's absolute doddle, really. So the engine's available in the Jazz in this country. 1.2, which had 75 horsepower, and then there was a 1.4 like this one, or it's actually sort of 1342 cc, I believe. So 1.4 is badged in this country with 81 horsepower. So it's not a massive difference between the 2 engines, really. And if you buy one that's a little later on, then of course you'd be Euro 4 compliant for all those ultra emission zones that's cropping up recently. So we're just going to go for a little drive down here. A lot of people have said about the Jazz, the ride is a little bit on the firm side, and I don't know if I can quite test it on this road because it's just actually newly surfaced. So we'll go for a little bit further and we'll just take a look and see what it's like. Actually seems fine. I don't know if the steering in one of these is electric or it's a hydraulic system. It feels probably like a hydraulic system in one of these. I should have checked that, shouldn't I, before I came out, but you know, it's no budget reviews, it's just the way it goes, I'm afraid. Certainly got plenty of power for doing moderate speeds. No problem at all. bit of nice feedback through the wheel. I think that's the hydraulic system. You know, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I do apologise. Other trim levels were the S, which is quite basic. The SE, which is I think probably the biggest seller of these, and then also the SE Sport pre-facelift, or the Sport post-facelift, which I think is about 2004. Ooh, very nice. We've come to a very sandy area. Beautiful. Not the most demanding road really to sort of put a car on, but gosh, it's very nice. I'll go and turn around and take a little look at what the scenery's like. It's most agreeable, I think, is the word I'd use. Most agreeable indeed. There we are. This is the lovely view from Sandside. Yeah, it feels very comfortable. Seat is quite firm when you first get in the car, but it's not too bad. It's just a very easy, kind of affable car, really. In terms of comparisons, I mean, I've driven lots of cars of this sort of era, things like the Vauxhall Corsa C, Seat Ibiza, Citroen C3 of course, that you would have seen. That wasn't good. It just feels like a more grown up and composed car. I think I'd probably go for the 5-speed manual gearbox over this automatic, but that's okay. Just a whole feeling of lightness and air, plenty of room. Just a rather nice car to put around in. I can see why people absolutely love these. Obviously the image of the Jazz, although it's better than the Honda logo that preceded it, and that was one of the cars that sold for the shortest amount of time on the UK market. I think it was less than a year, whilst they bridged the gap between the old Civic 3-door and the launch of the Jazz. The image of this is better, but obviously it's a car that's often bought by older people because it's so easy to handle. It's not the most amount of feedback through the steering, but it's not a sports car or anything. I'm hoping at some point to try the Planet Auto 1999 Civic 1.4 3-door on video. I have driven that car and it was actually really nice to drive, so hopefully we can do a video of that at some point. Unfortunately today that is not going to be possible because we haven't got enough time, and due to other problems we're having, so we'll have to do that another time. But yes, it's interesting to compare the two, and it's just a very nice tight example. I can't believe this car's done 84,000 miles because it's absolutely immaculate. It feels like a new car, which is just brilliant, really. Obviously you've got to make sure on one of these that you change your cam belt at the time that you need to change it, and a lot of Japanese engines, and Honda's no exception to this, do suffer from oil leaks in the engine bay, but these are pretty reliable cars. You just got to watch things like rust. Just like a lot of Japanese cars of this era, Mazda MX-5 is the example I always use because they're notorious for it. But yeah, it's been a remarkably pleasant little drive going around Lake District today. Owns this lovely Jazz is just gonna fold the seats for you. Do the magic seats. There we go. One of the reasons I think people buy Jazzes in the first place, if you go to something like a garden centre or something like that, you can actually put. Just a minute, Mr. Quirk.
I'm getting questions on your cars.
It's a beautiful car, sir. Yes, Mr. Quirk is full of my Tivoli at the moment. So you can put sort of plant pots and things upright, and then would you mind just putting it down for me, though? It's simple to just put that down as well, and then you can actually tumble the seats forward and have even more space. Yeah, like so. But you do have to, one thing you do have to bear in mind is you've got to take the headrest off to do that, which obviously is a little bit annoying. But yeah, there we go. Well, viewers, should you consider the first generation Honda Jazz? Well, I think so. It's a very, very, very nice car in comparison with so many of the others from this era that I've filmed. And it's got these unique little touches in it which nothing else seemed to. Certainly this high-spec car is probably the best example that I could have driven. There's no way you can get one of these for £1,000. It'll be quite a bit more than that. But if you want to look for maybe an early sort of SE, something like that, SE manual, there are plenty of those out there for less than £1,000. And as long as it's not rusty, and as long as it's been well looked after, then it could be a really good buy. Obviously, you've got to get past the slight image problem that these cars have, but that's probably a minor inconvenience in comparison with having something that just works and works really well. Anyway, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Obviously subscribe to Planet Auto too if you want to see the 2020 Honda Jazz and Jazz Crossstar. Don't forget to like this video and to leave a comment below. I do apologise we've had a bit of audience participation today, but it's been quite good fun. And please don't forget to visit my Facebook page, facebook.com/Lloyd Vehicle Consulting, and also Instagram, instagram.com/Lloyd_Vehicle_Consulting. Thank you.